The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with your hosts Jim Allen and Mary Johnson.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us for Simply Southern. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. Most folks in the Southeast are familiar with the Eagles flight before Auburn home football games. This morning on Simply Southern, we're taking you behind the scenes to show you the larger purpose of the university's Raptor Center.
There are a few of us that don't have a Facebook page or a Twitter handle. Today, you'll meet an Alabama family that is using social media to let others experience farm life, whether they live in rural Alabama or even New York City. Plus, Sydney Phelps says it's time to start planning this year's garden for your backyard. In our Bonnie Plant segment, what to consider before you turn the first scoop of dirt.
First, though, we're headed up Untamed Mountain in northeast Alabama to encounter wolves, lions, and tigers at a facility that's pledged to care for them in their old age.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
The blessing of Alabama agriculture is more than 3 meals a day. It means independence from foreign nations, freedom to pursue other jobs and activities, conservation of natural resources, and preservation of family values. For 93 years, the Alabama Farmers Federation has brought together the men and women whose work fills our plates and fuels the American dream.
I'm just like my customers. I work hard, and I play hard. I also help my dad on the farm when I can. That's the great thing about Alpha. We work hard for our customers. It's more than price. It's personal attention and great claim service. Hey, bud.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
Lions, tigers, and bears? No, you're not in Kansas anymore, but up on Untamed Mountain near Attala, you'll find all three. This week we're visiting with the folks at Tigers for Tomorrow, an animal rescue preserve dedicated to protecting our natural legacy and showing that these big predators don't necessarily deserve their scary reputations. You're probably more likely to find many of the world's large predators in a zoo than in the wild. From circuses to preserves, tigers, bears, wolves, and the like have grown up in captivity. As zoos close and animals age, many of these animals find themselves in need of a home. The folks at Tigers for Tomorrow are seeing that they find it.
This is the largest facility like ours I know about in the state of Alabama. We've got leopards, we have cougars, we've got a grizzly bear named Yona, we have wolves, and we have some smaller cats too, such as servals, bobcats, lynxes, things like that. Predominantly, we are a carnivore compound.
Wilbur and his wife Susan moved to Alabama from their initial Florida location in 2005 after a series of hurricanes hit the area. While the 140-acre preserve provides a home for these animals, it also serves an educational role. How many mammals have we lost in the last 50 years or so?
I do know in the last 40 years we've lost about 50% of living mammals to extinction. That's faster than dinosaurs going extinct. So places like Tigers for Tomorrow, people can come see these animals. They're used as ambassadors to teach us about their wild cousins, but also people get to learn about who they are and learn about life in captivity.
We're all drawn to these powerful creatures and their fearsome notoriety. Tigers for Tomorrow hopes to leave visitors with a more complete perspective.
On my tours that I give, one of the first questions I'll ask the group is, do you think tigers are friendly? And 98% of the time I'll get a resounding no. What we teach people here is there's no such thing as a mean animal.
Having worked with these large predators for nearly 30 years, Wilbur stresses many of the instincts and emotions that drive them aren't so very different from our own.
If you feel threatened in any way, what would you do? Defend yourself. Animal will do the same thing. If a burglar breaks into our house, what are we going to do? We're going to defend our home. If an animal comes into an animal's territory in the wild, he's going to defend his territory. If an animal or a person comes into an animal's captive situation and he's not invited, he's a stranger, the animal's going to defend his home. Now, again, he's not being mean. He's doing exactly what we would do.
Since moving to its Alabama location, the community has embraced the preserve, donating supplies, food, money, and time. As a nonprofit organization, this support has proven vital in fulfilling Tigers for Tomorrow's mission to give these animals a permanent home.
Tigers for Tomorrow is what it is because of all the people involved. That means our volunteers, our interns, our people who work for us, the people who support us. Without every single one of them, Tigers for Tomorrow would not be what it is. I like to say it's part of being something greater. And people have a good feeling about helping us and helping places like this.
The park is open to the public Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Information on booking private and school tours, as well as the different events held throughout the year at the preserve, can be found on their website, tigersfortomorrow.org.
Those are really majestic animals, but it looked like a few of those tigers might have been sizing you up in those clips.
Yeah, I think one of them was looking for the ketchup bottle.
Goodness. Now, while those animals have found a happy home to live out their days, the Southeastern Raptor Rehabilitation Center at Auburn focuses on helping injured or abandoned birds of prey get in shape to return to the wild. After the break, we'll visit War Eagle 7 and all the other birds that call this place home, if only for a little while.
Brought to you by the Alabama Beef Checkoff Program. Fire up the grills. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Today's farming operation is more complex than ever before, with precision agriculture becoming an integral piece to farm management. AccuField provides precision agriculture technologies and site-specific management capabilities in a simplified and interactive format, helping you put all the pieces of the farming puzzle together. For more information, visit us at www.accufield.com.
For nearly 50 years, the electric cooperatives of Alabama have been giving young people an opportunity to visit our nation's capital, where they learn about the value of electric cooperatives and the importance of grassroots advocacy. Top students join with thousands of others touring monuments, landmarks, and meeting with their congressional delegation. The Rural Electric Youth Tour program. Just one more way the electric cooperatives of Alabama are investing in the future of our state.
If you follow football in this state, and who doesn't, you're probably familiar with the Eagles flying at Auburn University home games. You might not be as familiar with the place these birds call home. This week, Samantha Carpenter visits the Southeastern Raptor Rehabilitation Center, where pregame isn't the only game in town.
Fall Saturdays in Auburn mean football, but for fans in town for the weekend, the Southeastern Raptor Center Amphitheater is becoming a hot ticket as well. Football Fans and Feathers not only allows for an up-close view of the school's famous eagle, but introduces many of the center's other winged residents as well.
When people come to Football Fans and Feathers, they can expect to see a variety of different raptor species. We talk about each bird and the different features that make the bird unique, and also where it can be found and how it lives its life. And then we let them see what they were designed to do, which is fly.
Although these events are popular with students and the public, the center has bigger goals in mind than just entertainment.
When we speak to an audience of children or adults, or really any age, our goal is to use the birds as a catalyst for an interest in learning about nature. Some students may see the birds and not be so impressed with the birds, but rather have a spark of interest about habitat or food chains, or even the weather that affects these birds migrating. And so we use the birds to get students of all ages interested in the natural world.
1, 2, 3. Besides entertaining and educating, a primary mission of the Southeastern Raptor Center is rehabilitating orphaned and injured birds and releasing them back into their natural environment. In the interest of raising awareness to the important role these birds play, the center has opened many of these releases to the public, such as this owl release at Chewacla State Park.
It's important for these birds to be in our habitat, and since they're nocturnal, you almost never see them, and they have very good camouflage, so you probably have screech owls and barred owls behind your house and you just don't know it. And you don't realize what impact that animal is having on maintaining the wild population of mice that's running around your yard, or insects. So it's important for everyone to know. And it's a good chance to educate the public.
They don't eat nuts and berries or fruits and vegetables or any sissy stuff like that.
Educating the public is a busy task for the team at the Raptor Center. In addition to the releases and on-campus performances, the center takes the show on the road to local schools throughout the state. The up-close exposure to these majestic birds has a lasting impact on these children.
I've been to one of the education programs at a library, and there were 200 children there that were absolutely quiet, paying attention. To see these birds, to see what is out in their environment, I think is very, very meaningful to the children. It makes them look up, it makes them ask questions, it makes them pay attention.
Children love to see the birds up close, and what I like the most is seeing that no matter what the ability of the child is, all of them pretty much have the same reaction to the birds. They are in awe to see these birds up close and very excited, and it sparks an interest in nature, which is what we're here for.
For Simply Southern, I'm Samantha Carpenter.
The Southeastern Raptor Rehabilitation Center does around 300 presentations a year, including schools, church groups, and by private appointment on site. You can find more information about these events and the center's rehabilitation efforts at the Auburn College of Veterinary Medicine's website.
You know, most people think of eagles when they think of raptors. You don't think about owls and vultures.
Right, and vultures are really important because they keep everything clean for us, and actually pretty clean animals themselves too.
Right after this short break, you can visit an Alabama farm without ever leaving the comfort of your living room. How a Blount County family is bringing their farm to you over the internet when Simply Southern continues.
Alabama soybean farmers help fuel the state's economy. Soybeans are used to make clean, renewable biodiesel and are a key ingredient in feed for poultry, catfish, and livestock. Soybeans are used in dozens of products we use every day. But best of all, soybean farmers generate $258 million and more than 4,000 jobs for Alabama's economy, all while helping conserve our natural resources. Explore the power of soy.
Alabama wheat and feed grain farmers grow food, fuel, and freedom. Their harvest helps feed Alabama's multi-million-dollar livestock, catfish, and poultry industries while reducing America's dependence on foreign countries for energy and food. By combining their strength with farmers of other commodities, feed grain growers are fueling the economic growth of Alabama communities.
For nearly 50 years, the electric cooperatives of Alabama have been giving young people an opportunity to visit our nation's capital, where they learn about the value of electric cooperatives and the importance of grassroots advocacy. Top students join with thousands of others touring monuments, landmarks, and meeting with their congressional delegation. The Rural Electric Youth Tour program. Just one more way the electric cooperatives of Alabama are investing in the future of our state.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, blogs. These are several ways people prefer to communicate these days. As Kevin Worthington tells us, a family of North Alabama farmers is using this technology to tell their story over the World Wide Web.
Lance and Stephanie Miller have welcomed people from all over the world to their farm in rural Blount County. But most of their visitors have never even set foot on the place. Through various types of social media, the Millers are taking their farm to people who can't visit in person via the internet. Stephanie says it was an opportunity to use her college degree, although not in a way she had planned.
I'm a communications major with a minor in marketing, and before I graduated JSU, I had an intern at the Talladega Superspeedway, and I wanted to either work there or something in NASCAR or something, you know, sort of related to public relations or something like that. And so I'm at the farm, and I guess public relations is just telling people about farm life now.
The Millers operate 4 chicken houses and farm about 1,100 acres of cotton, soybeans, and peanuts. And Stephanie makes sure to document everything from planting to harvesting to recipes and life with their 6-year-old son Reed and infant daughter Jade.
My blog is the lifeofafarmerswife.blogspot.com, and you can find anything we do at home, birthday parties, Christmas, you know, just stuff on the farm. But I have a page called Farming 101, and I have documented almost everything we do on the farm, from videos to pictures, and I explain all the processes.
No slacker himself, Lance said being active and communicating with the non-farming public is just as important as feeding chickens or sending crops to market.
If the public is not informed by the farmer, then somebody else is going to inform them. Somebody else will be your voice, and we don't want anybody else to be our voice. They need to know where their food and fiber comes from, and know that what's grown here in the U.S. is safe to eat and safe to wear.
Stephanie says unlike most professions, social media is a tool to help douse rampant misinformation about farming and how farmers grow crops and treat livestock. To prove that point, the Millers recently hosted several non-farming bloggers to pick corn and tour their farm.
I think the public is going to believe the first thing that they come across on the internet, whether it's true or not. They're going to believe whoever makes it sound the most real, I think. So if I put stuff out there, show we don't have anything to hide, show what we're doing is good, I think they may believe that. And if we invite them to the farm so they can, you know, see for themselves, maybe they won't pay attention to those other folks trying to make us look bad.
Stephanie says her readers enjoy her tales of life on the farm and pictures of the crops growing. But her most memorable moments all seem to be tied to one particular part of the operation.
The chicken houses, sometimes you love them, sometimes you hate them. I got them for my first anniversary gift, and I've almost went into labor with a Reed in there. I was on my way to the chicken houses on a Sunday morning when I went into labor with Reed. And we have had everything from Christmas dinner in the chicken houses waiting on chick delivery to Lance got caught in a tornado during April 27th, 2011. He got caught in a tornado up there, so they've been really interesting.
For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
If you'd like to make a virtual visit to the Miller Farm, log on to Stephanie's blog at thelifeofafarmerswife.blogspot.com, or you can like their Facebook page. That's at Miller Farms, Blount County, AL.
You know, Stephanie's really getting the word out about life on the farm. This past July, she had several bloggers from North Alabama to come by their place.
She did, and those bloggers had a big following, so she ended up educating a lot of people about what they do there.
When we return, Sydney Phelps says it's almost time to get your hands dirty. In our Bonnie Plant segment, he and an extension specialist are talking about do's and don'ts as you make early preparations for your backyard garden.
When AJ was born with a heart defect, we practically lived at the hospital. We weren't prepared for that. My Alpha customers, my Alpha family made sure we had everything we needed. Now I'm even more motivated to help take care of them. Who I am fits what I do. I am Alpha.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
What one thing can you say about your local quality co-op store? You can trust us. You get what you need for your farm, for your lawn and garden, and the safest products for your pets. We're locally owned and operated, and you can trust that we care about our community and the people in it. So if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, the Quality Co-op Store has exactly what you need to get the job done. All this plus friendly, knowledgeable advice. Your Quality Co-op Store. There's one near you.
Brought to you by the Alabama Beef Checkoff Program. Fire up the grills. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie plants, so you'll know how to grow.
Hey folks, Sidney Phelps here with Bonnie Plants. Today we're back at Auburn University to talk with our friend and entomologist, Dr. A. Now, spring season is coming up, Dr. A, and I know everybody is ready to get back in their gardens and get ready to do a lot of work. And one of the biggest things is when you get into the garden the very first of the year, you get that cleanup process going and everything like that, but there's a lot of maybe common pests that people are not aware about that could be buried into that soil that they need to maybe treat to make sure they have a better garden. So today, with your help, we want to get to finding out exactly what that can be and where we can solve those problems.
All right, I'll try to give you a short answer to this question because that's a very common question.
Okay.
One of the things that we forget as gardeners is we have these pests overall that we see flying and moving around, but there's also stuff in the ground. So what you grow in soil affects your insect populations above ground and below ground, and we shouldn't forget that. And from experience, I can tell you, trying to grow vegetables on new ground, especially if it's grassy, you can expect insects like wireworms, white grubs to be infesting that ground, and those insects can make your vegetables very sick. So those need to be controlled, and they are very tough to control. Luckily, we have a few granular insecticides today that we can use to manage them.
Okay, and you've got a couple of different examples of granular insecticides here in front of us. But now, you know, what type of pest generally will burrow as far as that and stay over winter that gardeners should be concerned with?
Okay, if you are growing a summer garden and you have plenty of squash and other cucurbit crops, you can expect a good population of vine borers and squash bugs to be hiding. And remember, they hide not only in the trash on the ground or leafy materials, but they can also hide under objects. It could be a wooden board they're hiding under.
Okay.
So make sure you look under there, look under the rocks also to see what's overwintering, and then take a shovel or anything to scoop that soil and look inside. Do not forget to look in that soil before you put the plant on the
Really
ground.
test your soil and check that out. And crop rotation, as you said earlier, that's got a big deal to do with that, especially with growing different genres and styles of plants. So crop rotation is probably the most important fact to keeping a healthy garden.
It is, and it affects so many other things besides insects. It also affects your disease pressure. So if you are growing too much of the same stuff, you know you're going to get disease that will be very difficult as gardeners to remove unless you are growing things unpotted in pots. But if you're on the ground, it will be very difficult to remove pathogens from soil. So you got to think about how your crop rotation and plan it out very well. And talk to a regional extension agent in the home grounds or commercial horticulture, and they can tell you a very good crop rotation.
Okay, and the granular products will help that out with crop rotation. Now, let's say that we've got, Joe, a regular average gardener that does containers and puts tomatoes in that container every year. Any tips for him?
The best thing is, if you are, most likely you will see disease problems crop up, more than insects in pots. There can be small insects in pots. Sometimes they get really bad. The best thing is to just start over.
Okay, start over with fresh
get
soil.
Fresh soil.
Well, Dr. A, thank you so much. I hope that the gardeners are ready to get in the garden and find out more and take these tips to make sure that you have the best garden. To find out more information, check out bonnieplants.com or Homegrown with Bonnie Plants on the mobile app.
You can always pull up spent annual plants. You can always turn the compost pile. You can always incorporate organic matter into the soil. Doesn't matter what month it is, gardening never ends.
Right, even in winter or early spring, there's things that you can do. I probably need to be taking some notes from you and Sid so that my garden might look a little better in the summer.
Well, I tell you what, Mary, you can go to bonnieplants.com or you can visit Dr. A's page on the Extension System website. To plan a visit to Tigers for Tomorrow Wild Animal Preserve or to make a donation to help support these magnificent creatures, go to tigersfortomorrow.org.
Likewise, you can visit or even volunteer to work at the Raptor Rehabilitation Center at Auburn University. Just go to their website, vetmed.auburn.edu/raptor. And a virtual visit to the Miller Family Farm is available either via their Facebook page or through their blog.
The Simply Southern Facebook page is the best way to stay up to date with stories we're working on for future shows. And to view shows that we've already aired, visit simplysouthern.tv.net. We hope you'll join us again next week as we dig into the past to find out why mining was so important to our state's economy in the 18 and 1900s.
Plus, we'll find out about one of Alabama's sweetest crops that's beginning to make a comeback on the state's farms. Thanks for watching Simply Southern this week. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. We hope you'll join us again next Sunday morning.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.